What's up, guys? Your host of the Sexy Business Status Podcast, Jason Payne here, and I got my homie Ryan Sandstrom.
What's up,
dude? So not blue collar guy. So everybody heads up listening. So our avatar, those listening, right? Male blue collar dudes, entrepreneurs, small business owners, do anywhere from 0 to 3 million, 5 million in revenue, right?
Yep.
A lot of them here in Arizona, but nationwide as well.
Sure.
So that's kind of who we're chatting with, and those that we're going to really help out today. And there's a couple nuggets that have really helped me grow and scale my business, and the legal side is actually one of them.
Right.
Because once you get big enough, even the little guys, you got to start like one. I realized that let me back up a little bit. You need legal help from day one, because when you're small enough, if you have one like oops, they can bury you.
Out of business. Yeah, 100%.
Literally out of business.
Yeah.
Like I had to get a trademark attorney because I had State 48 apparel. He came after me.
Yeah.
A lot of people know him. Apparently he's a super nice guy, but I'm sure it wasn't him, his legal team, but somebody on landscaping. So there's 104 different entities of State 48 roofing or State 48. Jeez Louise. It's like off my tongue now. 104 different entities. And one of them got a 1-star review, but it was for one of the trades, and they put it on the apparel company's Yelp or Google. And so I don't know if he sent it to everybody, he sent it to me, and I'm like, and I'm doing like $1 million in revenue, 4 months in business.
Yeah, you're freaking
And he's like, I want your EIN, I want your ROC, I want your domain, I want your phone number, I want your website, I want your and I'm like,
Can't do that. Yeah, you're shut down before you start.
And I'm like, what? And I'm like, no. So I had to like Google trademark attorneys, who is a freaking stud, by the way, if you have a great one. And this dude's, he's been awesome so far. But like the legal side of things, like I said, one of those, you can literally get buried and shut down. So we're going to jump into that. So
yeah, for sure.
I've already dealt with that, but like the legal side is so huge and nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to pay for it, but it's the number one thing that saves your ass.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, literally every contractor is going to deal with some kind of legal stuff. From the outset, I always say, take the time to do it right. Because you're going to get caught, it's going to catch you at some point, right?
Right.
And here's the sad reality of a lot of contractor businesses. They trust people a lot. Oh, he's my buddy, right? He's not going to screw me over. Like we're business partners. We've been buddies forever. And then all this, I have guys that are brothers, like genuinely, like they're siblings.
Sure.
And they started a business together. I had 2 guys that started a masonry company together, brothers. And next thing you know, one of the brothers was pulling money out and paying for his own crap, and the other brother's like, "What are you doing, bro? Like $90,000, like a lot of money." And they didn't have an operating agreement. They didn't have anything in place, and so it's 50-50. And I guess no one was making any like careful decisions beforehand. It just got messy. Now you're suing your brother, right? So a lot of guys hope for the best, but don't plan for the worst, right? So they just jump into it. And granted, let's be honest, there's a balance. You don't want to put a whole massive suite of stuff together. You don't want to spend a bunch of money on attorneys before you get out at the gate, right?
Sure.
So
if I recall, now we're gonna do a plug at the very end of this episode, because we have an event coming up that we're gonna do a plug, and we're gonna chop that up to send it and run it.
Yeah.
But for lack of better words, at the event, there basically, when we were doing the promo videos and whatnot, there were 3 pillars, maybe more than that, but 3 solid pillars that you and I were kind of chatting about of like, where can Ryan save your ass? And it was contractor to contractor.
Right.
It's contractor to ROC.
Right.
And contractor to consumer, to the client.
Yeah, maybe one more contractor to insurance.
Oh, and insurance. So there's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Bam, there's the 4 pillars. Write a book like the 4 pillars of insurance. There you go. So I want to dabble into those as we get into this, those 4 pillars, because I'm telling you, there's nothing worse. There's a lot of things that like the ROC does that it doesn't do. There's so many loopholes. It's freaking stupid. Insurance wise, don't even start. Like we could do this for days. But I want to really dabble in those 4 little categories. So if you're listening to this podcast, or you know somebody that is a contractor that needs help or that will need help, and you're dealing with your one contractor dealing with another one that's not paying you, the ROC doesn't do that kind of stuff. If you're trying to go after the ROC or fight against them, I'm dealing with one of those right now. Freaking stupid. I'm dealing with the contractor one right now. And then just a good old homeowner that doesn't want to pay you.
Yep, just good old collections.
I just don't want to pay you.
Yep.
I just don't like you. Jason, you're 5'9". I like people that are 6 foot tall, and so you don't get paid. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then the like a good neighbor that's gonna screw you over. State Farm, those guys, right?
Dude, I'm convinced that we need to actually do like a different commercial. So you know, you see all these like happy. Oh, we covered this, we covered that. No, they didn't. I mean, like every insurance company out there, I want to do a commercial that's like the opposite of the commercials.
You should.
Call it delay, deny, defend, and come up with a jingle, or, some delay, deny, defend. Because that's
you have double D's, we have triple D's over here.
100% it is. Seriously. That would be awesome. No, because at the end of the day,
What would you say? Deny?
Delay, deny, defend.
Delay, deny, defend.
You think about it, like the insurance company, they make a lot of money on interest, right? So they would rather have the money in their pocket than yours. They have no interest in rushing those payments. So delay, deny. I'm convinced that 90% of people that have denied claims just don't fight them. So if you get a denied claim and it's worth $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 and 90% don't fight, well, awesome. They're making a ton of money on that, right? And then defend litigation. Every single case that we file, every single one against one of the big box carriers, we have to go do 2 or 3 depositions. We got to do some discovery, and then they settle. Every single one they settle.
Yeah. They're trying to drag you out to bleed you out.
100%. So
and how many people not with legal help just give up? They're like, either run out of funds.
Oh, 100%. Like most of them, right?
Give me a ballpark. Just what percentage of guys that like go against the big box insurance carriers that like want to do it and they push and push and push? How many of them just either get exhausted, like literally just psychological?
There are some. We've had a couple.
Game.
Yeah, I mean, so most people don't even file. Most people are like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't even want to fight at all. It's
like I can't beat Farmers or State Farm or these huge billion trillion dollar guys, right?
Dude, we just beat State Farm really big in California, really big. And I'm not scared of those lawyers. Like I was one of those lawyers. I represented insurance companies, State Farm, USAA, Chubb, all the big ones for a long time. Yeah, so those guys don't make me nervous. They're just lawyers.
But to a little small contractor doing anywhere from 0 to 10 million, like that's freaking terrifying.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. But no, most people don't even fight. I mean, I would honestly say 90% just don't want to do it. And then the 10%, sometimes they get almost all the way there and they kind of freak out a little bit. There is a risk, like when you file a lawsuit against an insurance company, if you lose, you could have to pay the other side's attorney's fees.
Which could be
a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, 50, 100 grand, right?
More than that. I mean, if you take a case all the way to trial and you have 4 lawyers on the other side because they're going to have a big old room of lawyers.
Sure.
I mean, you're looking at $500,000. So there's always a risk. There's always a risk, and they know that they're gonna rack up a big.
Dang, that's wild. Okay, so that's in case you're wondering what this podcast is about. This is where it gets. I always talk to Ryan. I always get excited talking to Ryan because it's like it's just different, right?
Yeah,
it's like instead of like blue collar space, it's like. But what? Not if. What? Holy cow! Not if, but when you get screwed.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Not if, but when you get screwed. Yep. What do you do? Who do you talk to? Where do you go? Yep. How quickly can you mitigate risk and liability and all that kind of stuff? So,
do you know I used to do contracting before I went into law.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I did concrete work for a lot of years. I didn't own the company. Right. I was like just an employee at a concrete company.
How do you go from being an employee at a concrete company to going to law school?
So that was like in high school. Like I always loved
Toro Nation.
Yeah, Toro Nation. You know it, dude.
Tiger Pride.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I did concrete in high school. Just learned how to do it. Right, there was a guy in my ward, really nice guy, and he took me under his wing, and he would come pick me up when I was 15 years old. Pick me up at 4:00 in the morning to go work for Farnsworth Homes, and I'd go do concrete work for him for every summer. And then awesome. I did that a little bit after high school. Kind of paid for the mission, all that stuff. Kind of got me going. I did a little bit of remodel, demo. Dude, demo's so fun. I like being able to trash stuff. Just take a 18-pound sledgehammer to everything and just
go to town.
Beat the hell out of it. It's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, so did that for a long time, and then after my mission, I did a little bit more concrete work just to pay the bills and all that stuff, and then I actually started selling insurance. So that was the kind of shift into the kind of white collar side of things, and I started selling property and casualty stuff to contractors, like to business
commercial.
Owners. Yeah, commercial. And I was like, oh man, there's a lot of money on the white collar side of things. Instead of actually being the contractor, I just need to figure out how to support them.
Yeah.
And then, and then I had to wait a year. So my wife and I got married, and she was young. She was 19 when we got married. And the one contingency, my father-in-law, he said, you guys are welcome to get married, but let her finish her degree. So I had an extra year that I kind of had to slow things down. And so I ended up just selling insurance. I dragged out when I was going to go to law school and sold insurance for a couple of years. Learned kind of the white collar space a little bit, and I sold mostly a lot to contractors, business owners, and all that stuff. And I always wanted a professional degree. I always figured I was going to go get something, MBA, law, something along those lines. I wasn't certain. Then I landed on law, and it was great. Loved it. And my first job in law school was a big firm in Nebraska, really, really big, 100 lawyers, and I was doing insurance law. I was like, this is kind of interesting. So insurance defense, I was representing the big companies. So just, yeah, it was cool. They just kind of jumped
What
in.
made you switch from insurance defense, the big box guys defending them, to going after them?
Yeah, good question. So I actually, after law school, I went and worked in-house for a big insurance company, CNA. So out of Chicago, right? They have a Scottsdale office. Worked for them for about a year. Learned the ins and outs. Got to sit on the board, like see how literally how they make the cookie, like how they do it. It was pretty cool. And then I went to a big firm in Phoenix, two big firms. I was at a smaller firm, like 10, 12 lawyers for like 3 years. And then I moved to the really big firm, like 50 lawyers. And I was there like 8 years, 9 years. That was in downtown Phoenix, representing, you name the insurance company, right? American Family, USAA, Chubb, State Farm, Arch Insurance. We did a lot of Star Insurance, a lot of commercial, and then some of our clients were the big construction companies like Kitchell and Ryan, and so really, really good exposure, really, really good training. Some of the best lawyers in Arizona, like genuinely really, really good. But to your question, why did I decide to leave that side of it? Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
Okay, husband and wife law team.
Sure.
All right. I don't know how detailed I can be without sharing too much information, but
okay.
I had a case where I was defending a very large construction company who there was this dude. He was working on the construction site and was walking, and all of a sudden he didn't notice that the manholes were open. So this dude was walking carrying a bunch of stuff, and I swear it's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Whoop. I can just imagine him pausing over the manhole and looking around and then falling. Right, but no, the dude fell 25 feet down a manhole, shattered his leg. I mean, so this dude's ruined, right?
Yeah.
So I represent the property owner and the general contractor. So they manage the trades, and they were supposed to manage it so where the manhole company was supposed to close everything up before they had these other guys that went out there. So here's this general contractor that's managing the scope of work.
Yes, several different trades.
Yeah,
in order.
Yep. And if they didn't do it right and they allowed the manhole company to do stuff the wrong way and leave those manholes open, then arguably they're liable.
Out of turn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's an argument there. So I was given a lot of money by the insurance company. I was given $250,000 to settle the claim. Now, granted, there's a lot of other people involved. There was the actual manhole company. There was a lot of other contractors that got sued. But as the property owner and as the general contractor, the carrier said, "Look, I'm going to give you $250,000. Try to go get it settled." So plaintiff's side was husband and wife, and I called them up and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to file a motion for summary judgment. I'm going to get rid of this case. This is a terrible case. I'm going to get attorney's fees." Dude, I'm never getting attorney's fees. It's a negligence case. It's impossible to get attorney's fees.
Yeah.
And so I fight. I'm
You're just puffing your chest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just I'm doing my job. I'm being a defense lawyer.
Yeah, being a pit bull.
Yeah, I'm telling these guys, I'm going to get sanctions, all this stuff. I'm not. Let's be honest, right? And so I do a really good job. And guess what they do? They say, "All right, we'll let you out. $0. I paid $0 to get out of that case. Okay, that sounds awesome, right?
But
I felt terrible, dude. Seriously, I'm like, this dude is ruined, right? I have $250,000 that I could have spent. It's insurance money. It doesn't come out of the client's pocket. And I just kind of felt like crap. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, here I am thinking I'm doing a good job, and this insurance company that makes $12 billion a year, I just saved them $250,000 for what? You know what I mean? So I just, that was like one of many examples where I started feeling
those aha moments.
Yeah, there was a lot of those. That's one example right there. But I just started feeling like, dude, I just don't love the fact that I'm kind of, minimizing people's, challenges in life so I can benefit a huge, massive, multi-billion-dollar company. And there was a lot of those. There was a lot of situations like that where I was good at what I did. I genuinely, saved insurance companies millions and millions.
It's almost
of
like the mob. Like, hey, here's a couple bucks. I get rid of this guy.
Yeah, no, genuinely. Yeah, definitely. So that, and then just from a professional standpoint, like personal development, I kind of hit the glass ceiling over there. One of the genuinely really, really good lawyers, amazing training. Like I love those guys to death that I trained with. Mark Warshek, I'm convinced is the best insurance litigator in the state. He's so good, like so good. I trained with him for 8 or 9 years. So super grateful. But I hit the glass ceiling. You know, I was making a lot of money, but I was never going to go any higher. And I didn't like the prospect of being 36 years old and kind of being tapped out, you know? Yeah, sure, maybe I can...
Capacity issues.
Yeah, like I'm like, dude, I don't want to just be comfortable for the next 30 years. I want to grow. I want to develop. I want to build myself into something.
Challenge yourself.
Yeah, build myself into something that I'm proud of. And you know, I was making, between benefits and salary and bonuses, I was making probably $400,000 a year, you know, which is... I feel like I've made it, right?
Yeah. Do that for 30 years. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, doing really well. But I mean, me thinking to myself, I want to make $400,000 a month. You know, like why not? Like, and so that was like 2020, 2021. I started going to these conferences and all the self-development. I'd never done that before, like all the self-development stuff. And I'm meeting amazing human beings like Keaton and Pineda and Sam Taggart and Eric Spofford and those guys. And, you know, Grant Cardone, I met Cardone here in Scottsdale. And I'm like, here's an honest realization about all those people. You've met all those guys. They're studs.
I just spoke with 3 of those guys on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but the reality is, they're studs, but how do I say this in the nicest of ways? They're not smarter than I am. They're not better than I am. They've just been in the grind longer, and they take bigger risks than I do. So I'm convinced that's the difference between these guys and me is here I am playing it safe on a W-2 salary, and I'm not taking any risk. And these guys have taken massive risk after massive risk, put their, you know, the backs against the wall, and they have to perform. And then they do. So I'm like, I can do what these guys are doing. I just need to put myself in more difficult situations. So
I break it down into 3 categories like you're talking about. So risk, time, and attention. So what happens is, the risk, like no risk and no biscuit, right? Bruce Arians, good old Arizona Cardinals coach, that they all suck. And then goes to freaking Tampa and wins a freaking Super Bowl, Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure that out.
Yeah,
anyways,
exactly.
No risk and no biscuit, right? So the more risk, like, well, you didn't jump off this cliff, I did.
Yep.
And this turned out well for me, so I went.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Number 1. Number 2, I've jumped off 3,000 cliffs.
Right.
You jumped off 4.
Right, exactly.
I went.
Yep.
Right. And the third one is cool. You jump off the cliffs, take all the risk, but you never put your name out there, and you never like show people who you are, and don't like, dude, like when it comes to that type of audience and that type of the Pinedas and the Keatons and the Grants of the world, like it is a theater, it is a show, it is 100%. A performance, and whoever's the best actor, whoever does the best performance, whoever gets the most attention wins. I love me some Grant Cardone, right? Like get attention, keep attention, right?
Right.
And I actually spoke at an event just last week, and multiple people came up and said, dude, like you brought the most energy. Cool. You changed the entire room. And I'm talking, there's 9-figure speakers in there, right? And you know, this fun little roofer in Arizona coming over and friggin' whooping ass.
Yeah.
But the point of it being is like, I have also not mastered, but I've thrown 30 or 40 events in the last 3 years.
Wow.
Right. And I have over almost 8,500 posts on my Instagram and Facebook. I have over 10,000 on Facebook. But the point of it being is like those 3 categories, like you have to do it. And a lot of people, they do it, but they don't do it for long enough.
Sure.
So they either burn out, or they just don't, like, you haven't been in the game long enough. Sure. Right. Or they take risk, but not enough risk. So like you said, you're playing the W-2 game, you're, playing it safe, Dave Ramsey effect, right? Yeah. Like, dude, nobody brags about Dave Ramsey. Nobody does.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to do anything significant when you're comfortable. Right. Like you cannot build an amazing company. You cannot be extraordinary by being ordinary. Right. Like the whole idea is you have to do something that is uncomfortable to everybody else.
Yes.
So I remember when I told my family and friends, I was like, hey, I'm leaving I'm a partner at a big freaking firm in Phoenix making $400,000 a year. Like, I'm doing everything right. Like from the outside.
Anyone you talk to, you're a god.
Yeah, like
you're just killing it.
I'm driving a nice car. I have a nice house. I was the bishop. Like I was literally like doing
you're the man.
I was doing all the stuff, and I'm like, dude, I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, why is like? First off, this is personal development stuff. I realized I was doing everything for the optics, not for the actual goodness in it. I wanted to be seen as the partner in the law firm. I wanted to be seen as the successful one, and I was, people pleasing like you wouldn't believe, just, sucking up to this, that, and the other, all this stuff. So I wasn't fulfilled like even a little bit. So I always say, pretend outwardly, die inwardly, right? That was me to a T. I have a phrase.
Welcome to men in 2026. Dude. Their mantra.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to wear a shirt. I'm dead inside. Ask me how.
Yeah.
Like.
Pretend outwardly, die inwardly. Yeah. I call it the perception of perfection.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So we love to be perceived as being perfect, but the harder we try to be perceived as perfect, the less we feel about ourselves because we know we're full of shit.
Yep. That's why I love bringing my wife. Whenever I throw my own events, I always have my wife speak. And guess who is the best? And like I said, have had some of those names up on my stage.
Yeah.
Who's the best? Your wife. I'm like, I didn't pay my wife jack shit.
Yeah.
I paid some of these guys 10, 20, 50 G's to come speak.
Yeah.
My wife, I'm like, I mean, I pay her a lot, right? But
Yeah.
like, Jeez Louise, she comes in, she smokes everybody. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, because she's real. There's no fluff. There's no agenda behind it. There's no offer behind it. There's no, like, what's in it for me? She just, like, shoots it straight, and they freaking love it.
Dude, I've said this a lot. I've had this idea in my mind for a long time. So the idea of, like, empathizing with people, right? Being able to connect with somebody. I mean, that's Christianity in general, is being able to feel somebody else's feelings, right?
Yeah.
If you pretend that you're perfect, you cannot have empathy, period. Right? If I portray myself to the world that I am perfect, then no one can connect with me on an emotional level ever, because I'm perfect and you're not. I do not empathize. You do not empathize with me. So you'll never have that emotional connection. You'll never have that fulfillment. It's literally pretending your entire life just so that other people that you don't really care about like you. Yeah. And then you don't like you. Because you
and then you meet them and they're not even that cool.
100%,
or they're assholes.
100%.
I had that happen last week too. I met one and I was like, yeah, you're actually not that cool and you're kind of an ass. So I'm like, I'm good. But they'll say, like, don't meet your heroes. You heard that before?
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, that happened on Friday. Okay, let me run with that because, and I love the part, I use the word relatability, right? Like, it's really hard to relate to people when they're talking about, all this stuff and this and that. And in the events that I've thrown at scale, my mastermind that I have, like, the biggest thing, like, dude, like, you're just a dude that lives in Gilbert that is married and has kids. Like, and tell me your struggles and tell me what we're going on. So we're going to segue into this.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest issues that men have in the blue collar space, small business owners, entrepreneurs, is they neglect themselves. Right?
100% agree.
And they will
men
go,
in general. I mean, but like especially in the blue collar space.
And I was at the San Diego Zoo and SeaWorld this weekend with my family for spring break. Cool. Right? And I'm walking around. I'm like, dude, I was like, to find somebody not obese but overweight was just like the exception, not the rule.
Oh, everyone. Yeah.
And I'm looking at men, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's the difference between me and them? And it's not like a judgment thing, but I'm like, what are they doing or not doing, right? And there's just this level of comfortableness that's a freaking joke. And it is, right? And my buddy Sean Whalen talks about, like, don't let another man raise your kids, right? And I'm like, so what example are they going to look to? So if you're, and it doesn't have to be just weight. Like, I use weight just because I'm not on a weight loss journey, but I'm, something I'm very, very passionate about.
Right.
But, like, use drugs, use alcohol, use marriage, use whatever
porn,
vice, addiction you want. It don't matter. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Online gaming. So in the LDS world, like, you're not supposed to drink and smoke drugs and or I said that backwards, but drink and do drugs and porn, all that kind of stuff. Online gaming.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I was in a meeting and I can't say who it was or what it was, but I'm like, people that I know in Gilbert that I'm like, their husbands are literally on consoles gaming, not watching porn, not snorting lines of cocaine, literally Call of Duty or Fortnite or Minecraft or Roblox or whatever that bullshit is, like, for hours a day, every single day. They come home, they half-ass with their spouse, they half-ass with their kids, and then they're literally on a console for 6, 7, 8 hours, going to bed at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Trying to numb themselves somehow. They're trying to not feel. And I'll be honest, in the church, there's only a couple ways to not feel that you like can't. Maybe the best way to say it, there's a few things that you can do that you can get away with, right? So you can't go get drunk if you're in the church. You're going to be seen as being drunk, and again, perception's a really big thing. So you can't go take a hit. You can't be high, right? Yep. But I know a lot of people. Utah has one of the highest rates of prescription drug abuse. There's a movie called Happy Valley about it, like these women that just pop oxy all day long because you just seem tired, right? You can get away with that. Or the guys that sneak off into the bathroom, to go watch porn. Well, you can get away with that. It's a distraction. Or the guys that are, gaming. I mean, it's not technically doing something terrible. It's just gaming. Like you're doing something that
they all destroy you and everyone around
100%. You. Yeah, you're basically just distracting yourself from yourself. Yeah. And it's almost an admission that you know that you need to develop, but you're just either scared to do it or you're lazy to do it. And so it's dude, being distracted is so much easier. It is so much easier.
Yeah.
Just you don't have nothing's hard about that, right? You can just go chill and have to no stress and just distract.
Like every day going home and drinking.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yep.
Like why? Because I need to. I want to numb it. I want to make it go away.
Yep.
Until tomorrow.
Yep.
And then we're doing it again tomorrow.
Yep.
So without getting like too much into detail, because I want to talk about the business side of stuff.
Yeah.
You went through an experience, a transformation in the last 24 months or so.
Yeah.
A personal one. Explain to us what that looked like, and maybe somebody that can relate to that is in that kind of funk and recognizing it, getting help, and getting out of it, and then staying out of it.
Yeah. So I'll get real personal if that's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So again, this is part of the perception of perfection. I don't try to pretend anymore. Like I'm super raw, super open about it all. So like a couple things. So I had like a full on faith crisis. Like, so again, I grew up LDS families, as deep in the church as you can possibly get. My great grandpa was the prophet. Ezra Taft Benson is my great grandpa, right?
Dude, Ezra's G.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was in the presidential cabinet with Eisenhower, right? I mean, the dude, like, as a member of the 12, like, pretty amazing.
Sure.
I was a bishop at 31, right? So I was young bishop. I taught at the MTC when I was at BYU. So served mission in Russia, married, and did all the things right?
In the LDS bubble.
I mean, like, from outwardly, I was doing everything right. Sure. Inwardly, I was struggling with my own stuff. Like who doesn't have the same desire to numb and disconnect and all that
demons,
stuff?
Baby.
Yeah, 100%. So I feel like I was pretending outwardly and dying inwardly, doing all the things to be perceived. Hey, if you get the next calling, surely I must be enough because somebody told me, hey, God chose you for this. When in reality, it was just a straight process of elimination that I was a dude with a job that had a family. Like, let's be honest, I didn't get called to be a bishop because I was special. It's because I was like one of 3 candidates,
Right.
So I'm genuine.
Process of elimination.
Yeah, 100%. What, you're going to live in the Word for a few more years? Yeah, cool. Oh, you don't have massive drug problems? No. Oh, you have a job? Cool. Like, there's 3 guys in the Word that fit that mold. So, oh yeah, we'll call you.
Hired.
Yeah,
sold.
Seriously. So it had nothing to do with me being superior or anything like that. I know that now, right?
Sure.
I thought pretty highly of myself at the time. Hey, I must be doing something right.
Flex.
Again, this idea that like worth is external. I think a lot of the things in the church are external. We take the sacrament in a group of people. If we have to repent, we have to do it in front of a bishop. Like everything is external. So
we go to the temple and we're in front of 50 to 150
exactly.
people.
And how many people take the selfies in front of the temple and be like, "See, I'm worthy." Dude, it drives me nuts. So I had maybe what was this 3 years ago now. I don't know if I won't get too far into the details because I still really respect the church. I still really am grateful for lots of aspects of it.
Sure.
But I had a full-on moment. The church got fined $5 million for fraud by the SEC, so the Securities and Exchange Commission. And I don't know if it was because it was church-related and legal-related, which is all I know.
Yeah.
I was like obsessed by it. I was like, wait, the church got fined for fraud? That's kind of weird, right? Like, let me look into that. So I read the SEC order. Like, I literally pulled it up from the SEC website, read it. It's 11 pages long or something like that. And I read it, and I was like, dude, this is not a mistake. This is like an elaborate ruse. The church went to really, really great lengths to create 13 fake companies, fake websites, fake leases, fake employees, fake payroll, fake everything, solely for the purpose. And this is what really kind of pissed me off is the director of the Ensign Peak, the financial arm for the church, the investment arm. He said the purpose of the elaborate ruse, he said the brethren were concerned that if members knew how much money the church had, they'd stop paying tithing. So it wasn't fraud on the government. It was fraud on me. It was intentionally to get me to keep paying tithing so I wouldn't know how much, I wouldn't know their finances. Here's the irony. I don't care how much money the church has.
Yeah.
So
we all know it's like one of the biggest, most wealthy, debt-free financial corporations in the world.
So I had just been a bishop.
B is in billions.
Dude, 100%. So I had just been a bishop, and I'd been asking the temple recommend questions. Are you honest in your dealings with your fellow men? And
Such a good question.
I had this feeling that the church wasn't being honest. And that's a really scary question. I said, was the church worthy of its own temples? And that's a really scary thing to think, And
as a bishop.
Yeah, as a bishop.
Sure.
And so that was the first moment where I was like, maybe I need to take a step back. And what else don't I know? And the answer was pretty much everything. So that started kind of this cascading dive. So in law school, I was the research editor on the Law Review. So my job was to dig. My job was to research, was to source. I even worked for the database Westlaw, which is like our LexisNexis thing. Like you learn how to research and cite stuff. I worked for Westlaw for 2 years, right, when I was in law school. So all I'm good at is solving complex problems and then distilling it down into very simple information. That's what I get paid to do. Take 1,000 pages of documentation and write a 10-page brief on it. Like that. I think it's fun. I think it's a puzzle. I'd never done that with a church. So I started doing it. I started digging, and I found stuff that I was like, I had no idea. And it was really shocking. I was like, man,
it's like a legitimate rabbit hole.
Oh, dude. and there's a lot of crap out there, let's be honest, but there's also a lot of stuff that's legit and problematic and scary and unfortunate. And, again, being a contract lawyer, like doing business, deals, like if I tell you all the good, when you go into business with somebody, you have to tell them all the good, bad, and the ugly, right? So that's representations and warranties. This is my company. This is our process. This is our status, all this stuff. If I don't disclose to you all the things that are going on in my business, when we enter into that deal, like I'm not operating with all of the information. So I could have damages. I could sue you. I could try to get out of the deal because the contract that we entered into, I didn't do it fully. So when people say, well, you've made covenants, you've gone to the temple, you've done all this, I was like, based on half information. I didn't know all this stuff. Had I known all of the information now, that's a very different conversation.
Sure.
So I feel like now I'm having to reevaluate and decide, what do I do with my life now? So yeah, long story short, and by the way, I haven't talked about this a whole lot publicly. I mean, this is like, I talk about it a little bit.
Because you and I dabbled in it a little bit, but this is
a little
next
bit.
level,
Yeah. So I went down the rabbit hole, and that caused a lot of personal trauma. Full on identity crisis. If I'm not a, aspiring bishop, stake president, all that, like, what am I, right? And it caused issues with my marriage. It caused issues with my relationship with family. It was hard. It was really hard. So the faith thing, I was also dealing with some really heavy stresses at work. I mean, so I just started my company. I had an employee that tried to steal half my clients. I had, payroll, all the stuff, all the stresses. I was out of shape. I was not feeling good. Like I got super straight up depressed, like genuinely, like contemplating, like, how do I get out of this life?
Yes.
Like, and that's heavy to say that.
It's
right?
a real thing though.
Yeah. So
like, you can't sleep on it, and you can't ignore it.
So like a year ago, this is in the summer, maybe April, May of last year. So not long ago, like a year ago, I was full on like, dude, I'm done. Like, and that's so selfish to think that. I have a wife and 4 kids, and
throw in the towel.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And granted, my wife and I were having a hard time at that point, mostly because of my issues with the church. And so I feel super selfish, and that like I'm causing these issues. She didn't ask for that. She's genuinely the sweetest, kindest, easiest person to get along with on the planet. I'm the one causing these issues.
It was you versus you, not you versus your wife.
100%. Yep. Yeah. And so it was rough. And yeah, me being the insurance guy, I was like, well, I can't jump off a cliff because then my life insurance won't pay. Can't take a 9mm. Like, yep. I have a couple cars that are really fast, and I thought, well, if I just lose control of the car, dude, I'm planning it out in my head, like, So July.
It's a real thing, by the way. Those listening, like, this is the real thing. A lot of people like play it off. Like, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of men that are going through this right now in 2026. It's a real freaking thing.
So I had this.
I've had my moments too. Mine was like 3 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, I had this feeling that everyone else needs me, but I don't need me, and that's a really scary feeling, right? Is I provide a great life for my wife and kids, and they need me, and my parents need me, my family need all that stuff, but I don't need me, and instead of getting divorced or instead of leaving the church and causing all this turmoil and stuff, like, I don't want to be the cause of all this turmoil. I'll just rather like removing my wife from the picture. That's terrible. She's the best person. Like, she's so good. So I'll just remove me. And that's dark, dude. Like, it's really dark. They don't want,
and I feel like a lot of reasons why that rabbit hole happens or that conversation happens with yourself is because you don't want to have the hard conversations and confront, because it's so much harder to have those hard conversations.
I agree with that.
And confront those demons and attack them, because it's not an overnight thing. It's not like I give myself to Jesus, or like, hey babe, I'm sorry. Like, that's none of that shit happens overnight, and none of it's fast. And so you're opening the wound over and over and over again, sometimes weeks, months, years.
Right.
and you got financial backing behind it. Like it's a real thing.
Yep.
I'm up here like, I don't want to go through all that. I'd rather just like.
Well, it's the distraction again. Like it's doing the hard work is not pleasant. I mean, nothing about going to counseling, nothing about, all that stuff. None
I've been
of
going
it
to counseling for almost 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Every single Monday from 10 to 11 a.m.
So awesome. I
Best thing that's ever happened to myself and my marriage.
I was pretty convinced. I mean, how many messages do we receive growing up that counseling is only for people that are broken, right? And
you're a freak.
Yeah. Like, what's wrong with you?
Or your family's divorced.
Or if you have to admit to the world, like, hey, we're going to counseling. It's like, oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Again, that's the perception of perfection.
When's the divorce party?
We are all screwed up. I mean, we were literally all screwed up. If you're not in counseling, you're lying to yourself. Like, you probably should be. We are all messed up. No one's perfect, so stop pretending like you are. Yeah. And I think the moment you own that and to say, look, I need help. Like
it's such a free feeling. I've done, like I said, my wife and I remember literally standing in the closet in the hallway from our bathroom or master bathroom to our closet. And my wife is in the closet and I'm standing in the hallway and she's like, you either pick this lifestyle or this lifestyle.
Yeah.
This one, not a problem, but like you're out, we're gone, we're done.
Yeah.
This one, you go to therapy starting next week.
Yeah.
And you go and you work on you and you figure your shit out. Not couples therapy, like
you go.
Yeah. That was the ultimatum. And I was like, which one do you want? Like either way, she's like, I'm cool either way. Yeah. But like this 1 foot in, 1 foot out bullshit, like I can't do it.
We're not doing that, yeah.
And I literally had to be like, okay, which one do I want?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I was like, I love my wife. She's a freaking beast. She's a badass. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I know the other one's flashy, the other one's fun, it's cool. Mm-hmm. But I was like, long term, I'm like, no, I want my wife. I chose my wife before this lifestyle, before my business partner and the business and other things. And so literally, like, I have no joke been to therapy. I've missed, you can count on one hand how many times I've missed in the last two and a half years.
I mean, honestly, for everybody listening, being a man is owning that you're imperfect and that you need help. And there's nothing manly about pretending like you're perfect. You're lying to yourself.
It's not a flex.
It's not a flex. Hey, I'm awesome. I'm fantastic. Dude, a flex is saying, hey, I'm working on myself. And I know that I'm not perfect.
That's so much sexier too, like man to man, like no homo, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Like someone that's doing that, like, dude, fucking good for you, man. Proud of you.
I agree.
Someone that's like, hey, I'm going to therapy. I'm going to AA. I'm going to, what's the church one? MRP or NR?
Yeah, addiction recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, addiction ARP. On Thursday nights. Like, like that's a thing, dude. Like that's a flex. Like that's sexier than
I'm working on me. Yeah,
instead of
that's
like
awesome. That's so much harder.
I'll take care of it myself. I'm like, dude, no, you won't. No, you can't.
Do you know Eric Spofford?
I know a name.
So
Utah?
No, Eric's in Florida. So he sold his company for $150 million or something like that. Something crazy. But he was an alcoholic, drug addict, all that kind of stuff. And he owns his messiness. He like big time. And he's overcome it through counseling, through all kinds of stuff. And now he does addiction recovery centers and just crushes it. And I just love that guy because he's so vulnerable. He tells you all of his bad problems that he's dealt with. Like that guy has so much. I have so much more respect for him.
I need to get him on the podcast.
Oh, Eric's a great human being. Yeah, great human being. But like I love that guy so much. I can empathize with him. Back to that same idea, right? I can empathize with him because I know his struggles. He doesn't pretend like he's perfect. Like I can't empathize with somebody who pretends like they're perfect all the time. So I would much rather like guys that are like, let's get into a room and own like, hey, we're all dealing with stuff. Let's figure this out, right? So it's just the better way. And if you pretend like you're perfect, you can't actually grow, right? You are portraying to the world, I'm already there, when in reality you're not. And that was me to a T. Hey, I'm this perfect, amazing bishop, lawyer, all this stuff. Look how great I am. So I can't grow. I can't put myself out there because the moment somebody actually sees me, they're going to see this imperfect person, and I can't have that happen. So you can't actually develop if you pretend like you're perfect.
My bishop, ironically, is Ben Brown, Henry Brown, GMC.
Yeah.
And lives like 3 doors down from me in Power Ranch. Freaking stud. Freaking love the dude. And he's been divorced, remarried, the whole thing. And he's like one of the most real. It's funny. Our ward is probably the best that's ever been in the 12 years, 13 years I've lived there. And a lot of it's because of him. Because he's like, dude, he's like, show up, man.
Just real.
Yeah. He's like, show up. Just show up, bro. Hey, you showed up. Cool. Well, I didn't do this. It doesn't matter. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Love to see you. And like bawling your eyes out just because someone said, hey, I see you. Good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. You didn't have to show up.
Yeah.
Right. And it probably took every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears and humility and checking your ego to show up.
Yeah.
Just for sacrament meeting for an hour. Right. Yeah. Those kind of things. And it's just like, It's those little things like, dude, we're like I said, we're all fighting our own fight.
Yeah.
And it's a really powerful thing when you really go that route. So
the best sacrament meetings to me are not the ones where people go up there and say, I know with every fiber of my being this, that. No, the best ones are somebody when gets up there and goes, my life is really hard and I'm dealing with some really, really hard stuff right now. And I'm really grateful for the community around me that's been supporting me. And you guys are awesome. Like, here's the hardship of my life. And here's how I'm overcoming it with people around me. Right. And with God and that relation. Like, I genuinely, what's the word? Like when people get out there and say, hey, look how I know with every fiber of my being that this is, no, you don't. Like you're just pretending.
It's fake.
It's fake. But when somebody gets up there
and 2 weeks later they're divorced.
Yeah.
2 weeks later they found out they were cheating on somebody.
100%.
2 weeks later they found out they're a closet alcoholic. Yeah. 2 weeks later their kids doing X, Y, or Z. Like, dude, like shut up, man.
Yeah, just own the messiness. Just own.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, that was me. Again, I kind of deconstructed to nothingness. Like I totally lost my ego in the whole thing. Like, I don't need to be right anymore. I don't need to convince. Yeah, I got
to switch here a little bit. How did you? So you hit rock bottom, right? You're borderline suicidal. Your marriage is a freaking mess. You personally are physically a freaking mess.
Yeah, dude, I got up to 275.
How tall are you?
6'2".
It's still big though.
It's still big. Yeah,
still big.
I mean, it's 275. Like, that's the biggest I've ever been in my life. 275, bro.
Well, there's like a fit 275. There's a fat 275.
It was a fat 275. yeah. Like I couldn't bench 275. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was last summer. Counseling helped. Losing the ego, losing the necessity to pretend my whole life.
How hard is it for you to show up to your first counseling appointment?
Oh, I wanted to go at that point.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
because it's one of those two. It's like extremisms. Yeah. One of them's like, so mine was like I was not scared to go, but I was like, I know this is the right thing to do. Some people like they'll go once or twice and they're like, oh, it's not for me, or it's stupid, or it doesn't work, or this or that. And I'm like, dude, you went. Dude, I get no joke. I get at least one referral because I post on my stories my counseling when I go.
Sure.
Bloop, and they and I have people once a week. Hey, do you have a counseling person?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. What does that mean? They're not doing that. Like, I'm just gonna keep them in my back pocket. No, you're fucking doing something. So I'm like, if I give this to you, we get to have a conversation. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get a burrito or go get a drink or whatever. I'm like, hey, Dr. Pepper. But like, or a Monster. Yeah. But I'm like, let's go. But I'm like, something's going on, dude. It's everywhere. But like, dude, just own your shit. Know that no one's perfect and nobody cares. Not like in a dick way, but like nobody cares what you're going through, like in a judgmental way. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, but we care if you're not here.
Yeah.
Right. So like, work on your shit. Humble yourself. Reach out. Get some help. Get a friend. Get someone you can talk to. Get some professional help, right? And like it's a real thing.
So the biggest learning experience that I've had in the last year is, number one, stripping away that perfectionism. I don't need to pretend like I'm perfect anymore. I can own being human.
Sure.
And that alone has been really big. And now I can talk about this stuff because I can't even fathom talking about this stuff 3 years ago. Like, can you imagine being a bishop talking about my own faith struggles? There's no way. So stripping away that perfectionism just allows me to be a human again. And then probably the biggest thing that I've learned over the last year, I just took a step back. I honestly looked at the church and I was like, can I do this anymore? Right. And my honest opinion was, I see things a little bit differently now, but I'm super grateful for a lot of it. Like, and that idea of gratitude, instead of looking at my marriage and saying, this isn't that, or instead of looking at myself, I'm not this, I'm not that, I just started saying, hey, what am I grateful for? And that little shift and just finding gratitude in everything, I started looking at my relationship with my wife. We have a great relationship outside of this, tension that we have with the church stuff right now. So I'm going to lean into the good stuff that we know about. Like, what am I grateful for? Even with the church, there's so much good. The community in the church is amazing, right? To have a community of people that are working
nowhere
hard
else I would send my kids.
100. I totally agree. Yeah. So like, to be able to have a community of people that are striving to be better, that are learning how to pray, that are serving each other, why would I not want that in my life? And so it just became this thing. I started thinking, like, what am I grateful for? And if I'm grateful for it, I want more of that in my life. So I don't make these bold claims anymore, like I know this or I know that. I just say what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the church. Like, I'm really grateful for the community. I'm grateful to have a place to go every Sunday and feel welcome. Like, and that, for right now, that's enough. Like, I'm really, really grateful for what I have in my life. And my marriage, I'll tell you, since I started saying, hey, I'm really grateful for a wonderful, happy person, and she started doing the same. Hey, this isn't exactly how she drew it up too.
Reciprocity.
Yeah, and she started finding gratitude. Our marriage is the best it's ever been. I mean, about a year of counseling or so, and the faith stuff is, it's, I just don't focus on it as much. Instead of worrying about stuff, I don't try to.
It can consume you.
Yeah, I try not to. I don't want to ever be the cause of somebody's faith crisis. Like I don't need to have somebody leave the church to make me feel better about my decisions.
Right.
Like I don't need. Some people do that. A lot of people online that are
It's a huge thing in the LDS world.
Yeah, well, a lot of people will leave and then they tell the world, "Hey, look, I left." And the reason that they're doing it is so that they feel justified in their actions. It's all external validation. Ironically, right? It's you wanted validation in the church, now you want validation out of the church, and you're still being dictated by the church. At the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, it's internal peace is eternal peace. I'm convinced that has very little to do with other people's perception of yourself. It's your perception of you. So I just started deciding what am I grateful for in my life, and I'm going to lean in whatever I'm grateful for in my life. I'm going to lean into that. And I was grateful for tennis was a big part of my life for a long time. I'm grateful for tennis, so I leaned into that with my kids. Now I'm coaching the high school tennis team, right? So that was a decision to say, look, that's a part of my life that I'm grateful for. I want more of it. My time with my kids, I'm grateful for my time. I'm gonna lean into that. So all just little things like that. Sure. Health, like I wanted to get back in shape, so I was like, I feel better.
You were 275. What are you at now?
237, 234, something like that.
Love it.
It depends on the day, how much I drank that morning, right? But yeah, so I'm down about 40 pounds, and I'm not there yet. I'm still a work in progress, but probably another 15 to go or so. I got to get on Retta, dude. Got to get on Retta.
Dude, I read it this morning right here.
There you go.
Dude, Retta, Tessa, and BBC 157, baby.
There you
8
go.
months later, blink, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. No, so I have a little bit more to go, but and that's okay, right? To be part of the process and along the way, I feel 100% better, and I just, when you're focused on yourself the whole time too, that's another interesting thing. Is I'm always like when you're in that spiral, it's easy to be negative because you're focusing on what you don't have.
Sure.
Hey, my marriage isn't what I want it to be. My relationship in the church isn't what I want it to be. My kids, my health isn't what. Dude, that's just negative, and it's very self-centered and self-focused.
And it's consuming.
100, yeah, absolutely.
It'll eat you alive.
Yeah, so I had to pause and.
So I don't live in the pecans.
Yeah, right. So get outside of yourself, right? What are you grateful for, and how do you lean into that? I'm trying to be a better friend, be a better husband, be a better father. Like that's not for me, that's for them. Like just give. Like without any expectation of return, be a better business owner, be a better lawyer, like be a better friend, like genuinely reach out to people, not because you need anything in return, but because it's good for them. And that I think like, it's not about just me anymore. And that little shift, now you show up as a better version of yourself. So it's, and not to say that I have it figured out. Like I don't want to pretend like I'm there, because I'm not. I'm still.
You're figuring it out though, which means action, and that means that you're not past tense. You're not living in the past.
Yeah, and still owning the mistakes along the way.
Sure,
it still happens, but
okay. So we're gonna change gears here. One question for each of these 4 pillars, and then we'll do the promo at the end. Deal? Okay. So what is the number one I know we do 3 hours of each of these, and by the way, I'm manifesting this. In the fall, when it's not 1,000 degrees, it's going to be 107 this week. Barf.
It's awful.
In the fall, we're going to do a legal day for blue collar contractors at my office.
Love it.
We're going to fill the room, and we're going to do a panel. We're just going to ask you a shit ton of questions for like 8 hours.
Let's do it.
What about this? What about this? What about this? Like a panel and the whole shebang.
For sure.
So contractor to contractor.
Yep.
What is the number one mistake or number one issue that you see that can be prevented for those listening? Like, hey, don't do this. Or like, hey, the biggest thing that I run into in cases with contractor versus contractor is this.
So number one, make sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally get it. Make sure your contract's really clear, because if it's not clear what scope of work you're doing, you might get pulled into liability for somebody else's scope all the time. So
say that again.
So be very clear in your contract what your scope of work is, and don't try to control somebody else's scope. Because if somebody has liability and you've arguably exerted control over some aspect that's not your responsibility, or you don't know because it's gray, then you get hooked in, and there's liability for that.
What about how important is it to put on there? We are not responsible for. We will not do this. We will not do it
all day long. here's our scope of work. Here's not our scope of work. Absolutely.
Like I call them do's and don'ts.
Yep. Exactly.
So like, personal development, like, oh, start doing this and this and this and this and this. And they forget to say, oh, by the way, you have to stop doing these 5 things as well. Mm-hmm. Like, no, just keep doing it. I'm like, you're not going to do it until you get rid of these 5. Like, stop doing these. You can't start doing those.
Yep. Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. So contractor to ROC. Those that don't live in Arizona, ROC doesn't exist in a lot of other states.
Just state register, like register of contractor or licensing board.
Yeah, licensing board. What is the biggest thing that they run into or that contractors get pulled into or struggle with regarding the ROC?
Technical violations. There's so many little bureaucratic crap that you just don't know about, right? If somebody asks for an ROC, demands an ROC investigation, and you don't show up to one of the investigations or one of the like they'll say, okay, we're gonna do a site inspection on this date. You don't show up, you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
Or they'll say, okay, we're gonna give you 3 weeks to finish this process, and there's a date in there, and you're like, it's okay, it's loosey goosey, whatever. I'll figure out when I can. No. You miss that date, you're screwed. There's a form. Yeah, exactly. There's a form.
I have a litigation or something with them.
Yeah.
Anyways, coming up because they're like, you have 15 business days. I'm like, dude, I can't even find a contractor to do what needs to be done.
Right.
I don't even, the one that I used, I didn't know he was not licensed. Come to find that out. So I got written up for that shit.
Yeah.
But that part's going to go away. But the other part of like, I don't even have a legitimate license guy to do it.
Yeah.
Then have him go bid it. Then have him sign a contract. Then actually get the work done.
Yep.
And 15 business days, like you're on crack, bro.
Yep.
But because we waited till after that date, I'll get out of it, but it's sticky now.
But so that's the point, is a little technical thing that you wouldn't really stress about normally. It's like, okay, it's not a big deal.
And they're willing to move the date too.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Like if you tell them like, hey, like this is not realistic or like any more time or whatever.
There's that again, technical process to say you have to formally request an extension. They'll grant it almost every single time. They have no reason not to. They want you to finish the job.
Yeah.
They're not trying to they're not trying to screw you over. They're just trying to hold your feet to the fire.
Oh, and my customer that I worked on this house, she was non-responsive, I'll send an email or a text or a phone call. It takes 3 days to respond in this 15-day process still.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I only got 3 responses out of her in the 15 days to where she can say yes or no, or change this or do this or move that. And I'm like, and if 15 days is up, we go back, and it goes back out there. It doesn't tell me, by the way, goes out there, goes inspects it. You didn't fix this and this and this. Boom. And I'm like,
you're cooked. Yeah. So technical violation.
Effer.
The other part of it, I would say, is expectation with homeowners and business owners as to timelines. Like the moment you put like a hard deadline in your contract, we will have it done by a certain date. Dude, the reality is contracting, especially if you're subbing stuff out, like you can't control the subs. You don't know their schedules.
Sure.
I would have sometimes you have to actually put a date in the contract that's required, right?
Estimated completion date. It's supposed to be on every contract.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So again, that's part of the technical stuff, right?
Yeah.
So estimated completion date. I would have change orders like all the time. Like communicate with the homeowner. Hey, by the way, we're supposed to do an estimated completion date of this date. Overextend that. Always overextend that.
By the way, who said a date has to have a month and a day? It could be the year, like 2027. It's a date.
Yeah. So I actually think you have to.
Actual month and a day.
Yeah.
But like give yourself some grace too, right? Like
give yourself extra time. Overestimate it so the homeowner doesn't come back. But even if they do, just change order it to say like, hey, our subcontractor's not available. We need an extra 60 days. And again, overestimate
right.
Or
material doesn't show up because they got lost in China or on a barge somewhere.
If you tell the homeowner the best case scenario, hey, we want it done by like very quickly, you're cooked, right?
Toast.
So instead of trying to be overly optimistic on the front end, be overly pessimistic. This is going to take a long time. We'll try to get it done faster. One of the phrases I often say in the office is happiness is at the intersection of expectation and reality, which means if the homeowner expects it to take 6 months and it takes 3, they're thrilled.
They love you.
But if you tell them it's going to take 3 and it takes 6, they're pissed off.
You're a piece of shit.
So, or if you, all these ideas just to say, overestimate how long things are going to take and then finish it just a little bit faster.
So I'm still not a fan of Dave Ramsey.
You're the GOAT. Yeah.
But it was a podcast or one of his sayings, one of his books or whatever, talked about how doing a remodel, double your budget and double your time expectancy. Right. And he's like, you'll be closer to after doubling it.
Yep.
So our budget's $40,000 in 4 weeks. It's like budget $80,000 in 8 weeks and be closer to both of those than you will the first one.
So why doesn't the contractor tell the homeowner that and say, hey, we're expecting this is going to take, our initial budget is $40,000. Realistically, this might take, $80,000. It might take 8 weeks. Put that in your contract.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you come underneath that,
You're a stallion, bro.
You're the hero. You're the hero. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's contractor to
ROC.
ROC. Now contractor. No, don't forget with ROC, they only do scope of work and code. That's it.
Yep.
Those two things.
Yep.
They don't do money. Yep. Nothing with money. The dollar sign, $0.0, no pun intended. They do not touch money.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm a contractor going after a customer that doesn't want to pay me their balance.
Yep.
Number one thing, advice, looking at all these cases, all these deals, what advice would you give somebody listening right now that's on the come up or getting to this or hasn't encountered one of these yet? Hey, make sure you do this or input this or put this in your contract or avoid this. What does that look like?
So two things, lien rights, number one. If you perform work on somebody's home, you can pre-lien their home, and then you can actually put an actual lien if they don't pay you.
Is that within 21 days of working on the roof or on the house?
Depends on the state. Yeah. Okay. So
in Arizona?
Arizona's 20 days. Yeah.
20 days.
Okay. So, so you have to pre-lien it, and then you have to, I think the lien you actually have to put on it, I think it's 60 days after, I forget the exact numbers. Okay. But point being is lien it, right? So if you can, it just expedites the process. So now you have a method of recovery. If you had to file a lawsuit, you can get very quick judgment against them, and now you can record it against the house. Let's be honest, it's hard to then sell a property. You have to pay off other mortgages and all that kind of stuff. So, totally. But at least you have a method of recovery, and it tends to be the best pressure tactic, right? To say, hey, I'm going to file lis pendens on your home, and I'm going to literally sell your house. Like if they owe you a bunch of money, like that's a pretty good threat, right?
Yeah. Like, oh, not a problem. Like you can't sell your house until you pay me anyway. So if you don't pay me now, not a problem. Oh, and there's gonna be interest every day that you don't pay me.
Exactly.
In your contract.
Yeah.
That you're gonna pay me all this interest. Yeah. So your interest is gonna be 5x what the total job's gonna be.
Yep.
If you were to sell your house in the next 3 to 5, 7 years.
So the other thing, if for a lot of contractors, there's a really cool thing in Arizona. If your case is under 50 grand, right? So there's a really nice process. Well, let me say there's two things. If your case is under 10 grand, you can take it to justice court. So
small claims.
You actually no small claims is 3,500. So
35. Okay.
Yeah. So justice court is a really good option in Arizona, and contractors can actually represent yourself in justice court. If you have a business, an entity, you're not actually in superior court. You have to have a lawyer that represents the entity. You can't represent yourself.
Okay.
Because there is no self. It's an entity, right?
Yeah.
In justice court, you can represent yourself. So that's a really cool thing. If it's under 10 grand, you can get into justice court. The filing fees are lower, and you can get to a bench trial with a justice court judge within like 4 to 6 months. Pretty quick. That sounds like it's a long time, but it's actually not.
Yeah, in your guys' world, that's fast.
Yeah, it's really fast. If it's over 10 grand but less than 50 grand in Arizona, you can actually file it in superior court and then there's a mandatory arbitration. So instead of having a judge and a jury, it gets assigned to another lawyer who gets appointed by the court to be your pseudo judge. So I've been that, like it's part of my responsibility as part of the bar is like, that's genuinely how it works. I get appointed to be an arbitrator on a case, or I have somebody else that gets appointed to be an arbitrator on my case. It just expedites the process. Discovery is faster. You know, you get, instead of having to schedule out a trial years,
no bias.
It's really quick. So I would try to keep it within those limits if you can. I mean, if you're doing really big jobs, obviously, that's just going to extend the timeline. But under 10, justice court, 10 to 50, superior court, but then arbitration. And then over that, that's where it takes a really, really long time.
That's where you make big bucks. And
so we'll do the cases 10 to 50 grand though. I mean, we'll do those all the time, and we'll arbitrate those all day long. But yeah, so when it comes
to probably 90% of mine.
Yeah,
are over 10 but less than 50.
Exactly. So So the other thing when it comes to how to make these cases work, you have to be squeaky wheel the heck out of them, right? Like the homeowners, if they don't actually believe you're going to move forward with it, like if you make a threat, you better move forward with it.
Yeah.
So
send that demand letter.
Squeaky wheel the heck out of it. Yeah, we have a 3-step escalation process. We send a demand, but demands are professional begging. There's no consequence to not responding to a demand. So we send a demand. If they don't respond, we send a demand with a draft of the complaint. Looks scarier, but there's still no obligation to respond. And then we give them a date certain. And if they don't respond, we file a lawsuit. And then we serve the lawsuit on them. And then they have 20 days to respond in superior court. And so if they want to play ball, if they're going to force you to file, then you got to stick to it. Otherwise, you look weak, right? So, yeah, very quick escalation. And so that's within 30 days. Like, here's a demand, no response. Here's a demand with a complaint, no response, filed.
Okay. Last but not least, contractor to insurance.
Make sure you have the rights, right? So
what does that mean?
Your contract with the homeowner can include what's called an assignment of benefits. So it's crazy. It's a really cool idea. is the contractor can actually pursue recovery from the insurance company directly. If you own the recovery from
Actually, I had Brett do that on one of ours.
Exactly.
I'm doing the roof, but he was like, yep.
Exactly.
But he went straight. Like,
So,
I didn't sign anything. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to.
yeah. So assignment of benefits basically means the benefits that are going to come from the homeowner's policy they get assigned to you as the contractor, and then you can pursue that claim on behalf of yourself, the contractor, and you don't even need the homeowner. You can go get, because it's your money.
Yeah.
You can sue on. You don't get bad faith rights, right? But you get breach of contract rights.
Sure.
Because it's not your policy, so there's no expectation of coverage and all that stuff. So you don't get bad faith. But yeah, so that's make sure that's in your intake forms. Assignment of benefits is the benefits of the policy, not just saying, hey, the policy proceeds will be paid to you or direction of pay, but these are assigned to you. So the homeowner, if they get that check, they don't own the rights to that check, right? You do.
Right.
So that's probably the biggest piece with insurance, and then just document the heck out of it. And insurance companies will try to find every opportunity that they can to say, oh, there's, you missed this or you missed that, or dude. And then maybe
cross your T's, dot your I's.
Yeah. And then the last thing is, let's be honest, why does an insurance adjuster exist? Right? An insurance adjuster, their entire job is to minimize.
Yes.
If you sent them a claim,
as small a check as possible.
Yeah, and they would not have a job if they paid the claim for the value that was submitted. So they are required.
Yeah, because if not, what do you need them? Like, hey, this is the full price, $40K. Cool, here's check for $40K. Well, they need an adjuster.
Exactly right.
Like, no, it's 40. We're gonna give you 20. We're gonna give you 22.
So the reason that an insurance adjuster exists is to minimize. So knowing that, you got to be real careful because you don't want to commit fraud either. You don't want to say, here's my insurance price and here's my retail price.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's fraud.
Sure.
So charge your money to the insurance company, and if you have to work something out on the back end with the homeowner, just say, hey, look, again, charge your price, and if insurance denies, then you have to work it out amongst yourselves. But don't have a pre-arrangement. Don't say like, hey, if insurance denies, then I'll charge this. That's literally fraud.
Right.
Like, I'm going to charge a different amount of money to a company that indemnifies you. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't.
Like, just say this is the price, and then if insurance doesn't pay, well, then now you have a situation that you have to work out with the homeowner, right? So, but don't pre-arrange like an insurance inflated price. Just charge the price that you're going to charge, knowing that insurance is going to fight you on it.
Right. Love it, dude. Boys and girls. Freaking Ryan Sandstrom here, the legal wizard over here when it comes to everything blue collar contracting. Dude, thanks for being on. Appreciate the heck out of you.
Awesome.
Super good stuff. Like I said, we're gonna throw an event in the fall because there's so many. Like, it's one of the things that in blue collar space we don't think of legal. We think of like, dude, we're old school, right? Dude, shake my hand.
Yeah.
Do a good job. Give 50% up front, 50% when we're done. Make a mistake, fix it, and move on.
My job.
Why is it that hard?
I would not have a job if those worked out. I mean, truly, like, unfortunately, people.
Yeah, you like 60 years ago, like you wouldn't have much of a job.
No. So, should we talk about the event coming up in May?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've never done this before. Like, this is the biggest thing that I've ever tried to put on. You've done like all these events, right?
Yeah. In that venue.
Yeah,
I've done 3 in that venue.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Orange Tree Golf Resort. Yeah, I've spoken on a lot of stages. I've Keaton Hoskins, the Muscle, a good friend, client, Ryan Pineda, Sam Taggart, Cody Sperber, Heath Treasure, Hannah Hammond, like really, really heavy hitters.
Dude, those names, if you don't know those names, Google those names, follow them on social media, get their podcasts, get their books. I know every single one of them, either personally or not, all savages. Every freaking one. I'm actually speaking to. What's up? But dude, Brett Ray, my buddy Brett, also a savage in the roofing space.
Yeah,
dude, it's a real thing.
It's gonna be huge. So I just decided, I've spoken on a lot of other stages. I've never done something local. Like, how do I bless the lives of the people that I actually want to bless? And let's be honest, if I wanted to, if it was for me, I just go on the national stage and try to blow up my presence. And I realized that's the optics, that's the perception.
Sure.
But in reality, if it's here locally, these are the people I can actually help. Right. This isn't about me. Like, truly, this is I'm bringing in really, really skilled people like yourself. I mean, genuinely, like you and Brett, and like the local guys that are like, when I went to your rap and chat, I was like, Jason's the guy. Like, this is the guy. This is the exact kind of person that I want to like get to know. Like, somebody boots on the ground, just solid dude right here in Arizona. That's my guy. And so like, I walked over to Cassandra and I was like, we're going to do whatever we got to do to make sure that Jason and I become buddies, because he's the kind of guy I want to hang out with. And not even just hang out with, I want to do business with him. I want to do all kinds of stuff. So that was the idea and that's why, honestly, this relationship is so cool, because it's not about like you and me, like your scale stuff. It's about all these people that are trying to better their lives and
make an impact, bro.
Make an impact, and they're doing hard stuff. And so there's a great book. Jen Gottlieb wrote a book called Be Seen, and
I love Jen.
Yeah, Jen's awesome. So I honestly love her concept. She said people are going to consume content and information, and it's going to be worse than what you could put out. So like they're going to go to somebody else's mastermind, and it's not going to be as good.
Right.
So if you don't put your stuff out there, they're going to go somewhere else, and then they're going to be missing out on the opportunity that you could give them. So I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, a lot of expertise when it comes to this stuff. It would be a shame if I didn't help somebody with that,
dude.
And
so the masses, by the way.
Yeah.
There are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of contractors just in Arizona that need Ryan Sandstrom in their life.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. So I have insurance, right? Just in case insurance. It's like, not, in my opinion, not especially in the blue collar space, not if, but when.
Right.
For one of those 4 categories, you need those things. Okay. Friday, May 8th, all day, Orange Tree Golf Resort in Scottsdale. Okay. It's an all day thing. What is the website to get tickets? We'll put the link below here, but what's the website?
Yeah, so AZ Contractor Ed. AZ Contractor Ed.
ED.
Yeah, ED.
Ed.
Yeah. And then you can go. So we have a course that we do for contractors too. Like we give them all their business contracts and teach them how to use them. It's like a form fill thing, auto fills. Rather than hiring me and spending a ton of money on all these things, we actually just give them to you. Okay. It's called Business Law Mastery. So you can go to businesslawmastery.com or AZ Contractor Ed. And both of those will get you there. Okay. It's all linked on my social media too. Like if you find me,
what's your handle?
Just Ryan P. Sandstrom.
Ryan P. Sandstrom.
Yeah. So
on Instagram.
Really interesting.
Dude, I'm telling you. So I'm actually sponsoring this. My roofing company and my HVAC company is sponsoring this. Yeah. I'm speaking at it. I'm telling you, there's a handful of things, of events that I want to be at, and that I want to be a student of the game, that I want to be in the front row to learn this shit. And this is one of them, right? This isn't. I was just at one of them that was very inspirational, motivational, and go get them, Tiger, and you can do this, and you can sell this and flip this and do that. Like, cool. But then that's why I love scale. Like I only have 4 people in my scale program right now. 4, not 40, not 400.
It's awesome.
But those 4, I'm like flipping. Oh, I'm flipping their lives upside down, and they're like psycho. Like they eat out of my hand for 2 hours every other week.
It's awesome.
The point I'm trying to get at is this event on May 8th. It's all, like I said, all day Friday at Orange Tree up in Scottsdale. This will save your ass, could save your marriage, could save your business, and save you a shit ton of money. Okay. I'm talking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. If you're in the bigger game, millions plural of dollars in the long run by making sure that you have legal representation, you have someone in your back pocket. Because stereotypically we think of attorneys, we think of he's wearing a shirt, a suit and tie. He's got a watch on and got friggin' Jordans on, dude. He's like one of us. He just has to wear a shirt and tie to the courtroom, right? But if he didn't have to, he wouldn't. Yeah. He's one of us. He's a local dude. He's not like these stereotypical attorneys that are. They say that, like, the biggest thing with you, that's something you're really good at that I like, and that's why I only talk to you because of this, is because you don't talk to me like I'm fucking retarded. Like, you don't. You talk to me like I'm human. You talk to me like you can bring your legality jargon, like my roofing jargon. I can lose you up here. I can do a doctorate in roofing and lose you in 2 seconds. Right. But like you bring it down to 5th grade stuff. He does that for the blue collar space. Nobody, in my opinion, nobody does that. Don't forget, I know 3 other attorneys, and I'm currently working with 2. Right. And I'm switching everything to Ryan. We're doing another one right now. Yep. So contracts, operating agreements, like all those things that you need to have when you go and start a business, and those other 4 pillars that we talked about, we're going to be going into that in depth. So if it doesn't matter if you're doing your first 100K or you're doing 100K a month or 100K a week, it doesn't matter. You need to be there. It's an all day event. Tickets are super cheap. There's a VIP opportunity as well too.
Yeah, VIP is crazy. I mean, honestly, for the investment that we're asking for, the amount of money I've spent to be in big rooms. I had dinner with Ed Milet and Ryan Pineda in Vegas one time. You know how much I spent to be in that room?
$50,000.
25.
Yeah.
So 25. So just to have dinner, like with Ed Milet. I mean, Ed's amazing, by the way. I love that guy.
I had Ed come speak for an hour. $70,000.
$70,000.
70 G's. Yep. True story.
So, and then Eric Spofford to be in his room, and I spent $10,000 for one day, one time.
I spent $7,500 last Thursday to be in a room.
Yeah.
With 4 of those guys. So
in 2023, I probably spent $300,000 to be in various rooms. And all those guys that I spent money to be in their rooms, I'm bringing them here now. These guys, by the way, that's a really cool, like you got to pay to play for a little bit.
Yep.
Now all these guys are friends and clients of mine. And I genuinely like love these guys. Like Pineda is one of the best people that I know. Keaton has one of the biggest hearts of the planet.
I talk to Keaton on a weekly basis. Yeah, freaking stud.
I genuinely love these guys.
I just spoke with Cody last week.
Yeah, Cody's an absolute baller.
Hannah, for those females that are watching, dude, Hannah's a freaking beast.
Hannah's awesome.
Her podcast is amazing. What's her podcast called?
Just the Hannah Hammond Show.
Is that what it is?
Actually, we do our podcast at the same place at what's that guy's called? Same place. Yeah. Anyway, awesome. So long story short, we have a VIP. It's going to be all the speakers and 30 people. 30. We're limiting it to 30. Oh, right. We have a room it fits 50 people.
Oh, yeah, in there. Yeah.
And we're selling it for $997. That's crazy. Like I could sell that room
front row, access to the speakers.
I could sell lunch. That room. I could sell that room for probably $5,000 to $10,000. But all like the quality of the people that we're bringing in, $997 is a steal. So and I'm doing that just because again, I'm not trying to make money on the event. I don't need the money on the event. I'm trying to bring something that's different and incredibly valuable to people that are in my neighborhood. That's basically it.
Love it, dude. I'm telling you, like I said, I sponsor a lot of events. I go to a lot of events. I speak a lot of events. But I'm telling you, this is probably the top 5 where in the blue. I don't bullshit you guys. Like there's other ones I'm like, dude, don't go to this. It's not for you, or it's raw stuff. It's the Gary V's, the Ed Milet's. Like no offense, Ed Milet is not going to change your business. He's not. No offense. Love him. I know him personally. Yeah. He's spoken at my events. Like he's not Gary V. Love the dude, right? Grant Cardone, love the dude. Hermosi, love the dude. Hermosi will probably implement more and help you actually grow and scale. Yeah. But this event in particular is going to help you move the needle in your business, but on the back end, on the safety side and on the legal side, you need to be there if you're a licensed contractor, not just in Arizona, nationwide, but especially in Arizona, right? Friday, May 8th, all day at Orange Tree, azcontractored.com. There's a link below. Like I said, if you want to sponsor, we have sponsorship opportunities. Yeah. We have VIPs, and then the general admin, if you want to come just be a button a seat, that's totally cool too. But dude, get in the freaking rooms. I got in that room on purpose. I paid $7,500 to sponsor that, and I got to speak at it. Yeah. Okay, so it was a dual thing, kind of like what we're doing here. Yeah. Dude, I already got 3 flips. I already got 3 roofs out of that because there's 2 of the roofers in the room. None of them got those deals. Yep. I got those deals because I cut a check. Absolutely. I got in the room, I got in the circle, and I invested into them. So when you come and invest in yourself and invest into Ryan, it's tenfold. I'm already seeing it with what we're doing right now, you and I. Yep. So get your tickets, and dude, we'll see you guys there.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Let's roll.